like someone may have some feedback somewhere.
I see everyone. I think everyone's muted.
Okay, I'm going to mute me to make sure it's not me.
Okay. So, I was introduced to Plexus by Kristen. I think a lot of us, or maybe not a lot of us here because we're two different teams, but Kristen messaged me about Plexus. It'll be almost 2 years. So in a couple of weeks is my 2nd-year anniversary with Plexus. And I didn't start working the business right from the beginning. So technically I didn't work the business for 2 years yet. But she introduced me to Plexus in September of 2013, and she messaged me, and it was like, I knew Kristen as this health girl who I had learned herbal stuff from. I would make herbal tinctures and I would learn stuff from her. And here she sends me this whole long thing about Plexus Slim, and then there was a link, and I'm like, this is so scammy. Like, what is it? Did she get hacked, or I don't know? And but she was chatting with me, so I knew it was her. So at first, like, my husband, he had time to research right then. So he looked into it, and he right away liked the products and right away liked the business. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I can't sell anything, and I don't want to do that. And he's like, you have to try this. I was always up for trying anything new, so I was willing to try the products. Anybody could suggest something to me and I would try it. But I was always skeptical of things working. So when my husband looked at the comp plan, he was saying, honey, you got to do this. You could go really big with this and you could make a lot of money. And I said, no, I'm not selling anything. I can't do that. I would make herbal tinctures and I would try to sell those to my friends. And I would mainly just give them away for free because they would ask me how much, and I would just say, whatever, $5, you can just have it. So I'm glad that when we get a website, that it doesn't say on the bottom, you can just have it for free, because I'd probably tell people to click on that. So I started taking the products, and my husband started taking the products. We joined right away for the wholesale price. And Andrew, right away, he felt really great, and he started sleeping better. And for me, I was like, I probably was too skeptical to like want it to work. So I was like not even paying attention to if it was working or not. But Kristen would message me and ask, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Let me see. Just muting somebody. Kristen would message me and ask me how I was doing. We went on a trip right after I joined, and I would like ignore her messages because I didn't want to tell her that I only took it half the time, and I hadn't told anyone about it because she kept telling me, you'll be really great at this business. Just share with people. And oh, did I freeze up a bit? Can you hear me? I think I froze up. Okay.
You're good now.
Okay. So she kept messaging me, and I kept ignoring her. And I think towards the end of the vacation, it was like a 2-week vacation or 3 weeks. I would message her back and say, I don't feel any different. I would say, I'm doing fine. I'm not feeling different. And no, I haven't told anyone. I think I had told one person, a diabetic friend of mine, but I felt like I was like asking her for her money. And I just like, that was like the worst feeling ever. Just telling her about the product made me feel like I was asking her for money. And so I was like, I told Andrew, I don't think I can do this. Like, after we got home, Kristen messaged me and she said, so when are you going to start this? And I said, I don't think I'm going to do it. Because I don't have any results yet, and if I'm overweight, how am I going to sell this weight loss? I was just thinking of Plexus as weight loss, and we all know so much better now. And so she said to me, so you're seriously going to be making people wait? You're surrounded by people, and there could be people that are silently suffering and silently in pain, and you're going to make them wait until you get skinny, and that's when you're going to tell people. And And it was like the perfect thing to say to me, even though it was like out. But it was the perfect thing to say to me because it really made me think that this whole time I was just thinking about myself. I wasn't thinking about my friend that I could help her with her diabetes. I was just thinking about what do I have to say in the correct way to get her to buy. That's what I was thinking. And it was totally the wrong mindset. So anytime that you're feeling like you're asking somebody for their money, then you have the wrong mindset and you're going about it totally the wrong way. So when I switched that over, I'm not saying I was perfect in the beginning, but when I switched that mindset over to helping as many people as I can and sharing stories instead of selling, that's when I got a lot of response from messages and from posts that I made. So that's how my journey began, and it was really exciting for me. It was kind of addicting to be helping people and to be getting responses. That doesn't mean that there were hardships. There was hard times, especially in Canada. We had to deal with a lot of shipping and custom issues in the beginning. So we still sometimes have to deal with that, but not so much as what we did in the beginning. So, but I think just sticking to it, not letting negativity and hard like issues stop you, and not whenever I felt like I can't do this, like I can't deal with 20 people messaging me saying where's my product, I can't deal with that, then not, instead of going to my team or going to taking it out on my husband or my children, I would tell my upline and she would help me work through that. So what I'm saying is don't take, if you have things that are happening in your business that are hard or negativity, don't take it to your downline, because that will definitely hurt them. We can be real and admit things that happen, but don't dwell on those things. So I always say that one of the biggest things that helped me and my whole team was that we kept a very positive attitude together. There was a few people that got weeded out because they couldn't take that, or they couldn't stay positive in a time when it was really hard. So some of the people left, but I would say for the most part, we all stayed in it together, and we're here to stay. I see Marge in the corner there. She's Ruby, and I'm so excited for her. So if you saw the international list today, you'll see that she was right under the jewels there. Sorry, I lost my train of thought when I'm thinking about other people. So I always say that positivity is what kept my team together the most of anything, not allowing any negativity into the group, into our team group, addressing it in private. That was a huge thing. So that's kind of my story, Ruthy. I don't know if you want to like ask, I'm going to unmute Ruthy. Oh, where does she go?
There I am.
The video is gone. But I have a few more things that I wanted to talk about, but that was kind of my story.
Yes.
The very beginning of the story. I don't know if you want to ask questions in between.
Yes, I love it. Man, what I took away from that is don't vent to just anybody. Have your talk over issues with your upline. It can wreck a team if we are, oops, I'm starting my video. It can wreck a team if we decide that we're going to take something to our downline or our sideline. That's what our upline is there for. I love that. Thank you very much, Eva. Can you tell me, if you had to say what would get you through the tough times, if you had to think about, those times that you get 5 messages a day, of negativity, of a customer who is not experiencing success because they're not giving it time. Maybe an ambassador who is not seeing the big picture and is complaining about things. And those days where it's just overwhelming, because we all have those days. We can't pretend that it's going to be rosy every day, right? So what would you say is something that would get you through those days when it's a little bit tough?
Okay, that's a really good question. And there's probably like a whole bunch of things you could do. But the first thing that pops up in my mind is taking the focus off of yourself and reminding your ambassador or whoever you're talking to, probably not a customer because it is about the customer, but taking the focus off of you. Um, when we're thinking about ourselves and how we feel, or we're condoning another ambassador, like condoning their negativity by just focusing on them and them what they're doing. We need to change the focus to the people that we're trying to help. That is like, I think that's like the starting point of switching a day, your whole day around, and focusing on something good.
Yep.
I think that's like the core of it.
Yep. I love it. This is a people business, right?
Yeah.
This is an others focused business. And those who have been successful in this business have an others focused mind.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that very much. Good. What other tidbits do you have for us?
I love that saying, help as many people as you can and your rank will take care of itself. That is so true. Like if we're not even thinking about how much I made or thinking about um, even thinking about what my next, I know goals are really important, but not even thinking about just you getting to a goal or you getting to a rank, instead thinking about helping as many people as you can, and that will take care of itself. I really like that because it takes a lot of stress off of you and it makes your mindset in a much better place. So another thing that really helped me in the beginning, and all the way until now that I've been doing, is finding the successful people that I admire, and copying them. Copying them is duplication. And I would copy them. I would copy Kristen and Lori and Brenda and Charlotte and Wendy. I would like follow them, like follow them around like a dog and just copy everything they did. And when they would do something hard that I wasn't willing to do, I didn't do it right away, but I always, like in my mind, I was always thinking, I'm going to do that one day. Like it's hard for me right now and I'm like not willing to get out of my comfort zone to do that right now. Like I never thought I would do a Zoom like this. This is like so uncomfortable. Like this is not easy for me. This is not like, oh, I love doing this and being on the screen. And if someone told me in the beginning that that's what I would have to do to be a diamond, I would have said, I'm okay staying a ruby forever. That's probably what I would have said. But so copying your people that you admire, that are successful. And even if you can't copy everything right now, but you do need to copy the whole package. You can't just pick, oh, I'm going to be like Brenda and I'm going to post everything she posts. No, Brenda does other things than post on Facebook. So copying the whole package is all about duplication and doing what you see the successful people are doing. So that was probably one of the biggest things was, oh, if they can do it, I can do it, and you all can do it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. Can you tell me about a little bit about mindset and kind of those lies that we tell ourselves, and how to pull yourself out of that? If someone is telling themselves that they can't do something, I can't work this business because I don't have time, or I can't work this business because I'm not a salesperson. Well, none of us are, but I can't work this business, whatever. The list can go on forever. What can someone do to change that mindset to make them successful? Because we use those mindsets as excuses, right? We use those mindsets to say, okay, then, well, because of that, I can't do it. What can we do to change our mindset?
Wow, that's a really hard question because I still deal with that. Like I still say to myself things I shouldn't say to myself. I'm thinking that the moment you feel yourself doubting yourself, think about how God sees you. God, all the negative things you think about yourself and what you cannot do, God is thinking the exact opposite of you. So you do not have the right to be sitting around and thinking about those. You can't afford to have a thought about yourself that God does not have. And so that's what I have to say about that. I don't have any practical advice on that, except for you really do have to change your mind and turn around. As soon as you hear yourself thinking those things, you have to forcefully change your mind and tell yourself over and over. That's what the affirmations are good for. Put your affirmations on your mirror and like read them, even if you feel stupid.
Yeah. And it does.
It does. It's like, you're amazing. You're awesome. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it works in your mind. It works. Have you ever seen that video on YouTube of this little girl who's standing in the mirror and she's all pumped and telling her, my house is awesome, my mom is awesome, and she just tells herself that, and she's so excited. And that's kind of what we need to do too.
Yep. Yep. Awesome. Well, any more business building advice? And then I just have a personal question I'd like to hit you with, but anything else business wise that you want to leave us with tonight?
Something that I wrote down that I wanted to talk about, I didn't have it written down exactly. It's just a note. So I'm going to get my thoughts in order. But if you're in this business right now and it's really relaxed, like you're not sure what to do next and you're just making some contacts, doing some follow-ups, and it's kind of boring, then you're not challenging yourself. Like, you need to be challenging yourself to do something that feels uncomfortable to you. That's how we grow. So I can tell you that I did that probably every week for almost 2 years, where I did stuff where I felt like, I can't do this. I'm going to do it anyways to prove it to myself that I can do it. So if you're feeling like your business is kind of boring right now, you're not challenging yourself enough. You need to be finding things that you think are scary and doing those things.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Awesome. Anything else? I don't want to stop you if you have something else.
No, that's all I had for now. But another thing, I guess, my mind is like a rabbit trail, lots of them. So I think one big thing for us leaders to remember is every single month, this is what I try to do. Every single month, you should be acting like it's your first, you just signed up. You want to become silver every single month. And that doesn't always happen, but you should have that excitement and be learning, just like in the beginning, you were learning. So I like, whenever there's a first of the month, I love to think that, yay, I just became an ambassador. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get some customers, going to get some ambassadors. Us leaders can get lost in managing our teams. So that's super important. Acting like you're just brand new. Mm-hmm. That really helps me get my butt when I don't have things rolling.
Yep. And I love that too, that someone says, I don't know who, but you are the best ambassador on your team, and act like it. Because so many times when we start building a team, we just think, oh, my team's not blah, blah, blah. My team's not, doing whatever. Yeah. Why? Perhaps it's because I'm not doing whatever. Yeah. So, yep, I love that. Awesome. Okay, well, I just, on a personal note, I love hearing your Jesus story. And, I think it's important for us to encourage each other in this way too. And not everyone on our team is a believer. Probably not everyone on this call is a believer, and that's okay. But this is a big part of who Eva is and why she is the way she is and why she runs the business the way she does. And so I think it's of value to hear that. So if you wouldn't mind just sharing whatever you feel led to share of your Jesus story, I would really love to hear it.
Okay. Thank you for calling it my Jesus story, because that's exactly what it is. So first of all, I want to say that just because I am a Jesus believer does not make me a perfect person. But God does see me as perfect because he is looking at me as if I am his son. And that is what the core of the gospel is. When he looks at us believers, he sees Jesus because Jesus traded places with us. But I'm going to get that. That's the exciting part. I'll go back. So I grew up in a Mennonite home, and All my life I believed in God. All my life I believed in Jesus. I believe that Jesus died on the cross for our sins. But it was what I did with that. It was what I had to do to keep that salvation. So I prayed the sinner's prayer probably like 100 times before I was 20 years old, because I would pray it and feel great for a few minutes or a week, and then I would do something horrible and feel like I was a failure and feel like, how can God forgive me for that? And it would always be about me and what I needed to do to be a better person. It wasn't until, so that was a struggle. All my life I was afraid to die, as many of us are, most of us are afraid of death, because we're not ready to face the God that created us. And most of us have been taught that he's a man with a big hammer. If you do something wrong, he's going to hit you. He loved us so much that he sent his son to die for us. Okay, this is a good illustration that really helped me. Jesus took our place. That should have been us on the cross. And instead, Jesus did that for us. Anyone who has done one single sin deserves to be what Jesus got, deserves what Jesus got. So thinking of trading places, what we get the honor that Jesus has, sitting with God at the right hand of God. We get that honored because God decided to give his own son for you, his own son. He turned away and let Jesus to be whipped and killed for your sake. So it wasn't about me trying to be a perfect person anymore. It wasn't about me trying to be worthy of his salvation, or trying to work and strive to be the perfect person because Jesus died for me. It was about Jesus making me perfect in God's eyes. So when I understood that transition took place and that the blood covered all of our sins, past, present, and future, that's when my whole life changed, because I put all my trust into him and I did not trust myself anymore. I will always be unworthy. I will never work hard enough or strive hard enough to deserve his grace. So that's when my life completely changed, when I realized that it was never about me. It was never about anything that I could ever do. It was about what he had done for me. And for me, it felt like I jumped off a building and I completely trusted that he would catch me on the bottom. That's what salvation felt like to me. Before, I had always thought, well, Jesus died for me, but I need to work to keep that salvation. So the peace that I got from realizing what he had done was everything that I needed. It's amazing. It's indescribable. There's nothing that compares to that.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Thank you very much. And that radiates from you. It radiates into your business, and that peace that you have is very evident. And I think everyone who knows you would say that.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's not about me, but I should say that Ruthy and Lisa, who is peeling oranges right now, Ruthy and Lisa and we were in Minnesota in a Bible bookstore, and Ruthy showed me a book that all of you should have for your kids. It's called the Jesus Bible Storybook, right?
Jesus Storybook Bible.
Oh, the Jesus Storybook Bible. Anyways, if you guys want to know what it is, we can show it to you later. But that book has the gospel, the pure and simple gospel in it for kids. I love it so much. We stood in that Bible bookstore and bawled when Ruthy read me the first page, and I was like, this is so great. And that's kind of how Ruthy and I met. We met and talked about Jesus, and Plexus. So we're friends forever. And Lisa too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I thank you so much, Eva, for sharing with us tonight. And my rock stars that are out there, you're on this call because you are the workers on my team, and I appreciate you very much. And I hope that you take these trainings and don't just listen to them and then expect your business to change, and Eva's team too. Don't just listen and expect it to change, but you have to go out there and do something with what you've heard. So that is my hope and my wish for you. It looked like Stacy Fish maybe asked a question On my phone, I don't know that I can see it. Eva, can you see it? Maybe?
Let me see. She says, I would love to have some examples of what are some uncomfortable things. I know it may vary for everyone, but I'd love to know some examples.
Uncomfortable things?
Yeah, you don't have any uncomfortable things. That's nice. Making videos was a huge issue for me, like unbelievable. I would be like making a video and sticking my tongue out and being like, I'm so awful at this. And then I would delete it and I would never post it. I've made so many videos I never posted. Making a new contact in public, like when you're out shopping, that is super scary. That was very uncomfortable for me. Do you
want to unmute Stacy and see if she can clarify?
Okay, I need to find her. Oh, there she is.
Okay, Stacy.
She said that's not what I meant. That's what she wrote. That I know the part where I said that she doesn't have uncomfortable things.
Oh, she doesn't have a mic.
Oh, that's too bad. Those are a couple of them, but I had scary things all the time. Even I got invited on a call one time and I said no so many times, and when I finally did it, because I couldn't always say no, I only had like a 20-second, they only wanted me to like confirm something, and it was so scary for me. I was like breathing hard and I was shaking and I couldn't eat anything for hours before. So that, yeah, I've gone through a lot of things that for me were really scary. I always said to Kristen, I want to be the secret diamond. I don't want anybody to know I exist. So that's pretty much out the window.
And Eva, what about your first live meeting that you had to do? Tell us about that.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, it was your comfort zone.
Oh my goodness. I stood in front of about 15 people and I was so scared. My knees were shaking. I never, like people say their knees shake. I just thought maybe it was an expression. My knees were shaking and my hands were so sweaty and my tongue was so dry I could not talk. And I started, I had these notes written down on my paper and I looked down at my paper and they were all swirled together. There was no, and I started talking about Plexus Slim. Like, I know why this happened is because I wasn't thinking about helping the people. I was just thinking about how I looked and how I sounded. And so it all just was horrible. I started talking about Plexus Slim and it was just like, whoa. And then I went to the next product, which was like the Fast Relief, which was, it wasn't even in the correct order because I couldn't even remember what Probio 5 was called. I couldn't remember anything. I was looking at I have one right here. I was looking at the bottle and I couldn't read what was on the bottle. And it was really, really bad. And my friend Sherry was there and she totally rescued me. Like I was like doing that for a full 5 minutes of torment.
Look at you now.
And we got like 5 new ambassadors and I was like, I cannot believe you guys signed up.
Oh, that is awesome.
I know, and I think they all said that it was because after the presentation was over and we were like telling testimonies, I didn't even know that it was a good idea to like share testimonies in between. I didn't know anything. And us all sitting around and talking about our testimonies, that's what made them sign up. So now I know the presentation doesn't even matter that much. It really doesn't.
Story so,
yes.
Right? Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, if you don't have anything else to share, I think that's it. And I so much appreciate you being with us tonight. Really, really, truly. And we are so happy for you and so excited for you being Diamond. And I just can't wait for all of us to get there and catch up with you because it's going to be awesome.
Oh, you guys will. I have no doubt.
Absolutely. Anybody can do it. You decide it and you do it, right?
That's right.
That's it. Yep. All right. I love you. I'll see you in October. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. See you later.
Guys. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you, Eva and Ruthy. Appreciate it.